Welcome to ABC Interactive English. That is Nina.
And that is Shane.
And today we're looking at an article. Become a better person. Take a risk.
Ooh.
This is part 1.
Okay.
So take a risk. So a risk is something that could be dangerous, something that has some danger to it.
Danger or bad outcome.
Yeah, something bad could happen. So do you consider yourself to be a person that likes to take risks?
I think not really, because when I was growing up, my father was always playing it very safe.
So to play it safe
Yes.
means don't take a lot of risks.
Exactly. So it's always better to be safe than sorry.
Oh.
That's what I was taught.
I was taught that too.
Yeah.
Better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, but if you don't take any risks, you might be missing out on a lot of stuff. So now that I'm older, I try to be more of a risk taker, someone who takes risks.
I think I'm the opposite. When I was younger, I took more risks.
Okay.
And the older I get, the more I play it safe.
Well, I think maybe because you have more to lose.
More to lose,
Yes.
right? And you become comfortable doing things in a certain way, and you don't want to do anything different or too risky.
Yes. So let's learn a little bit more about taking risks.
Okay.
Cheryl is a risk taker. That means she is willing to take risks to reach her goals. She wasn't always like that, though. Before, she let her fear of failure control her life.
Okay, welcome back to Become a Better Person, Take a Risk. And this is part 1.
Okay, so what is a risk?
Ooh.
A risk is a situation that could be dangerous or could have a bad result. So for example, you could say, he thinks it's a big risk to fly on an airplane.
It's actually one of the safer ways
Right?
to, yes,
But
get
a
around.
lot of people are afraid of flying because
Yes.
they think there is a risk that the plane is going to crash.
I think there's always a risk, but the risk is very, very small.
Yeah, it's more of a risk to walk around the streets of Taipei.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's begin. Cheryl is a risk taker. So somebody who likes to take risks or does take risks, we call them a risk taker.
Yes.
That means she is willing to take risks to reach her goals.
Okay, so reach her goals, and to reach means to extend or stretch out, or to
That's like reach that way, right?
yeah, reach, or to arrive at or achieve, like reaching your goals. So I can't reach Shane; he's too far away.
Yes.
For example, she stretched her arm to reach the top shelf. That's me all the time because I am very, very short.
But then here, reach is more, yeah, we're talking about reaching a goal.
Yeah.
It's not like
Actually, your hands
more
are physical.
abstract, 比较
Yes.
抽象的, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's more like achieving.
And like we said, it's to reach a goal. So a goal is something that you hope to achieve, something that you hope to get done,
Yeah.
right? So for example, my goal is to be a good person.
That's a very good goal.
It's a good goal, right?
Still working on it, huh?
Yeah, I've got a long way to reach my goal.
Okay, continuing. She wasn't always like that, though. Before, she let her fear of failure control her life. So before, she was so scared of failure. that she didn't really take risks.
Right.
So failure is when you don't succeed, right? You fail, and it's a noun, failure.
Right. Yeah, so to fail means to not accomplish something or not succeed, right? And failure is the noun.
Exactly. So for example, despite his best efforts, the project ended in failure. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, okay. So control is another vocabulary word, and that's a verb. So to control means to limit something or try to make it happen in some way that you want it to happen. For example, Tiffany couldn't control her anger. That means she couldn't stop it or limit it. Her anger just got away from her, right? Yeah. So we found here that she wasn't always like that, though.
She wasn't always a risk taker.
Right.
Yeah.
So she would let her fear of failure control her life. So for you, you're not really a risk taker. Is that because you're afraid you will fail?
Yes, I think that's usually the case for people who don't take risks because there is the risk of failing, right? But then if you don't take risks, then you'll never succeed.
Yeah, they say no risk, no reward.
Exactly.
So sometimes you need to take a risk to get rewards. Okay, why don't we take a break and we'll be back in a moment.
Once, Cheryl had a chance to start her own business. However, she didn't take it. She thought she would fail and lose all her money. She regretted it later. When Cheryl looked back at that time, she felt she was very negative. Also, she was too scared to leave her comfort zone.
Okay, so before the break, we were talking about Cheryl.
Yes.
Now, Cheryl is a risk taker.
Yes,
She's
she is.
willing to take risks in order to reach her goals.
Yes.
But we also found out that Cheryl wasn't always like that. She used to be afraid of failure, right? So let's continue here and find out more about Cheryl.
Okay.
So once Cheryl had a chance to start her own business. Okay, so to start your own business just means that you will open some kind of a business.
Yes,
right?
And you don't have to work for other people.
Ah, right.
But there's always a risk, right?
Yes.
However, she didn't take it. She thought she would fail and lose all her money. She regretted it later.
So she regretted not taking the risk.
Exactly.
So she decided, oh, it's just too scary. I'm afraid I'll lose all my money. So she decided not to do it. And then she regretted it.
Okay.
So to regret means to feel sorry about something that you have done or something that you haven't done, right?
Yes.
Or something you haven't been able to do. So she regrets not taking that risk.
Yes.
An example sentence could be, Tom regrets not going to school yesterday.
Maybe he had a test
Maybe
and he missed it.
He missed the test, or maybe something important happened and he didn't get the information.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't know what is happening in his class.
Exactly. Or regret can also be used as a noun.
Right.
Like, do you have any regrets?
I have no regrets. My life
all.
has been perfect.
Okay.
Now, I think that regretting sometimes, I feel like that's just focusing on
the past.
So it's better not to regret, just move forward.
Yes.
Okay, so continuing. When Cheryl looked back at that time, she felt she was very negative. What does that mean to say that somebody is negative?
Well, when you're negative, it's usually when you're thinking towards the bad side of things, right? Instead of the good. For example, if you are a negative person, I don't think I would want to hang out with you all the time.
So you think I'm a positive person?
I think you're pretty positive.
So the opposite of negative is positive.
Yes.
Okay.
So, for example, the negative feedback from customers led to product improvements. So they had negative, bad things to say about the product, so they improved it, right?
Right.
Okay, so continuing. Also, she was too scared to leave her comfort zone. Yeah.
Comfort zone. Okay, first of all, what is a comfort zone? Your comfort zone is the place or situation where you feel safe, you feel comfortable. Usually, that means doing things that you always do.
Yes.
Right? It basically means people who are not risk takers.
Yes.
They love their comfort zone.
Yes, they stay in their comfort zone.
Yeah, so comfort zone, we usually think of it as pretty negative because usually it's because you're just afraid of getting outside of your comfort zone.
Exactly. So it's good to get out of your comfort zone to experience and try new things, right? All right, so now that we learned more about Cheryl and how she decided to be a risk taker, are you going to start taking more risks?
Oh, I don't know. You know, there's a saying in English. You can't teach an old dog
New tricks.
new tricks, which just means as you get older, you get used to doing things a certain way, and it's difficult to get out of that way of doing things and try new things and take risks.
Yeah.
But
you also said no risk.
No reward, you're right. So I think sometimes we do need to remind ourselves that if we want to accomplish things or we want to get the rewards out of life, we have to take risks sometimes. Step out of our comfort zone.
Exactly. So maybe now it's the time to step out of your comfort zone, maybe go visit a new country. That could be the case,
I
right?
like that one. Okay, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheryl is a risk taker. That means she is willing to take risks to reach her goals. She wasn't always like that, though. Before, she let her fear of failure control her life. Once, Cheryl had a chance to start her own business. However, she didn't take it. She thought she would fail and lose all her money. She regretted it later. When Cheryl looked back at that time, she felt she was very negative. Also, she was too scared to leave her comfort zone.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 goal 名词目标。Sherry has a goal of losing 5 kilograms before summer. Sherry 的目标是在夏天前减重5公斤。下一个单字 control 动词控制支配。Nina tried to control her temper. Nina 试着控制自己的脾气。下一个单字 regret 动词后悔。Is there anything in your life that you regret? 你一生中有没有什么令你感到懊悔的事？最后一个单字 negative 形容词消极的负面的。Why are you so negative about everything? 你为什么对任何事情都如此消极？接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 take a risk 冒险承担风险。Risk 是一个名词，意思是风险危险。Risk taker 指的是冒险家。我们来看看这个例句。Ivy decided to take a risk and pursue her dreams. Ivy 决定冒险追寻她的梦想。Pursue 指的是追求。下一个文法 Somebody is willing to 加动词，某人愿意做某件事。Willing 是形容词，意思是愿意的、乐意的。我们来看看这个例句。My brother wasn't willing to help me with my homework. 我哥哥不愿意教我功课。最后一个文法 look back 回首回顾，它的后面可以加上 at 或者是 on 再接受词。我们来看看这个例句 Don't look back at your past, move on. 你也可以说成 Don't look back on your past, move on. 意思是不要回首你的过往，往前看。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，回去记得复习哦。我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Hey, it's KiWi On the Street. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie.
We have a lot of visitors in Taiwan all the time from all sorts of countries. But we are often asked questions in English, and sometimes we have to think about it in Chinese. So today we are going to work on some translations.
Let's go.
All right, so let's work on some translations. Please pick one for me. 我想订这礼拜五晚上7点2位。
I want to make a reservation for 2 people at least Friday at 7 p.m.
I want to order for 2 people at Friday night, and it's about 7 o'clock.
Very good, very good. So we have, I'd like to make a reservation for this Friday at 7 p.m. for 2 people. Okay, we have 有什么建议的吗？
Do you have any recommendations?
Any suggestions?
Is there any suggestion?
Is there any suggestions or do you have any recommendations? All right, what did we learn today? Let's take a look at some other ways we can translate the phrases that we saw today. I'd like to reserve a table for 2 at 7 p.m. this Friday. You can also say, I'd like to make a reservation for 7 p.m. this Friday for 2, please. Our next phrase, what do you recommend? You can also ask, do you have any suggestions? And these are the translations that we learned today. KiWi later!